truth.
Welcome back, guys, to another Clash Royale video. Today we're taking a look at this giant balloon strategy that I'm currently undefeated in this tournament that I'm participating in. Now, the reason I want to do a balloon video today is I finally have my balloon to level 4, which I've been waiting for a very long time. And like I said, I'm currently undefeated with this deck in this tournament that I'm participating in. So let's go ahead here, take a look at a couple replays of tournament battles, and then we'll finish off with a live tournament battle. So here we are, guys, facing up against a giant bowler strategy. Now in this replay, I actually had the elixir pump in my deck instead of the cannon, but after this battle, I went ahead and switched out the cannon for the pump, just because I don't really like the luck factor of using a pump deck. If you have it in your starting hand, then you're good to go, but if it's way at the back of your card rotation, it's really hard to make efficient use of that pump, especially with more of an expensive deck like this. I don't really have too many cheap cards in this deck that I could use to cycle to a pump if I needed to, and I also found that having a cannon instead of the pump gave me a little bit more defensive power against enemy Hog Riders, enemy Royal Giants, and enemy Giants, so I prefer to have the cannon in this deck instead of the elixir pump. That being said, if you want to use the pump yourself, go ahead and switch it out instead of the cannon, or maybe even the Ice Spirit. Now notice how I use that Giant to distract his bowler, saving my Musketeer some damage, and allowing my tower as well as my Musketeer together to take out that Giant pretty quickly, and then go on to take out the bowler. And my Giant was also able to go back on a counter push, doing a little bit of damage to his tower. So the way I like to play this strategy is to use the Giant, the Valkyrie, as well as the Musketeer, and play it like a typical Giant strategy, and I like to keep the balloon card a secret until later on in the battle when I figured out my opponent's deck, because I need to know what kind of cards my opponent has that can counter my balloon before I start setting up some balloon pushes. For example, I want to know if my opponent has a minion horde in their deck, or if they have an Inferno Tower or a Musketeer, because that way I know how to set up a balloon push. If my opponent has a minion horde in their deck, then I'll do maybe a giant balloon push and then have that fireball ready to take out the minion horde before they even drop it. So my opponent here is starting to set up a bowler push on the right hand side. I know he's probably going to use the giant in front of it, so I want to prevent that by doing an aggressive counter push on the opposite lane and forcing my opponent to spend all of his elixir defending his tower and not supporting his push on the right hand side. And as a result, the giant balloon combo goes in there doing work for me, actually giving me the 1 crown lead so far in this battle. Now with a minute and 5 seconds left in the battle, and my tower on the right hand side sitting at 428 health, I have to expect my opponent to take out that tower on the right hand side, so I have to come up with a plan either to finish off the tower on the right hand side or to get the 3 crown victory. So he's coming in here pretty aggressively with a giant on the left as well as a Hog Rider on the right. I'm going to go ahead and use the elixir pump in the middle to distract both units, pull them into the center, allow my towers as well as that Musketeer some time to finish them off, and as a result, the Hog Rider doesn't get any damage onto the tower on the right hand side. The Giant does get a couple hits there on the left hand lane, but it's nothing to worry about because I'm going to start setting up here for the 3 crown victory. So Valkyrie going up there with the Musketeer in the back. He's setting up a pretty aggressive push on the right hand side with the Hog Rider as well as the Giant. I'm going to ignore it 100% and go for that 3 crown victory with the Giant as well as the balloon. Now once the Hog Rider dies, I do want to distract the Giant in the back a little bit just to give my troops some more time to get that 3 crown victory. So down goes the elixir pump there, distracting the Giant, and here we are, guys, getting the 3 crown. Let's go ahead, guys, to the next replay. So here we go, guys. I'm going to go ahead and speed up the footage just a little bit here because both of us waited quite a while to make our opening moves, but eventually I do get impatient using that Valkyrie way in the back of my King Tower. But my opponent makes kind of a big mistake here. He waits quite a while to counter the Valkyrie, giving me a free elixir advantage. As you can see, I get all the way back to almost 10 before he drops down the Spirit Goblins, essentially giving me a free 4 elixir advantage. Gonna go ahead and use that Zap spell to finish off those Spirit Goblins, then start setting up an aggressive push here. Ice Spirit freezing his Valkyrie, saving my Valkyrie Musketeer combo. They're going to go on there to hopefully do a little bit of damage to the tower, but unfortunately, at the very last second, he drops down the Skeleton Army to take it out. Now, I'm actually going to ignore the Skeleton Army and do an aggressive push on the right-hand side, even though looking back at it, those Skeletons do a decent amount of damage to my tower. Now, he drops down the Hog Rider at the exact same time as my Giant Balloon push, with the Prince in the back for support, so I know that there's no way I can defend that tower on the left-hand lane, so I'm not going to spend any more elixir defending it. I'm going to wait for all those troops to get to my King Tower, and then start defending it to prevent any further damage to my King Tower, but he does bring my tower down pretty low. What I wanted to do with that Valkyrie was hopefully push the Prince back and force the Prince to retarget to the Valkyrie, but unfortunately I made the mistake with the drop and I wasn't able to do so. So as a result, my King Tower is sitting at 666 health, but my Giant doing a good amount of damage to his tower, bringing it down to 732 health. So I'm going to play a little bit of defense here and wait till I get to a good cycle with my giant as well as my balloon in my hand. So cannon taking out all those skeletons, my Valkyrie going up there doing a little bit of damage to his tower, but I'm going to play defense here. He has a Valkyrie coming in, so I'm going to go ahead and use the Musketeer to defend, and then start setting up the final giant balloon push that's hopefully going to give me the 3-crown victory. So as you can see, his Valkyrie dying, my giant going down with the balloon in the back for support, and he doesn't really have any strong air defense in his deck. His wizard doing work to my giant, but nothing is targeting my balloon. Balloon sneaking right in there, getting one hit, giving me the 3-crown victory. Let's go ahead, guys, to the next replay. So here we are, guys, facing off against a Royal Giant Sparky strategy. But I want to take a brief moment here to talk about this balloon deck with the fireball versus the arrows. Now, normally with a balloon strategy, I would suggest arrows instead of the fireball. The arrows are cheaper in elixir cost, making them easier to afford on a balloon push, and they also have a wider radius, making it easier to hit all of your enemies' minion horde. So if you're facing people that have minions or the minion horde in their deck, go ahead and use the arrows. But the reason I have the fireball in this deck is recently I've been facing a ton of people that are using the 3 Musketeers strategy, and I think the fireball is a much better counter to the 3 Musketeers than the arrows are, so that's why I have them in this deck here. Now I'm going to go ahead and use the cannon to defend against this Royal Giant, with the Ice Spirit going down, taking out all those Fire Spirits, and also forcing the Royal Giant to re-target to my cannon. And for 1 elixir there, that Ice Spirit saved several hundred damage on my tower, so definitely a pretty good card having the Ice Spirit in this deck. Musketeer going back on a counter push. I'm not going to support her with anything, but she will get a couple hits off, doing some free damage for me. Gonna go ahead and use the Valkyrie in the back to pull back the Knight, and for 4 elixir, I'm taking out a 3 elixir Knight, as well as a 4 elixir Musketeer, so a pretty good elixir win right there. Now I'm gonna start setting up a push on the left hand side with the Giant as well as the Balloon, but notice my big mistake. I used both the Giant and the Balloon at the exact same time, and as a result, the Balloon moves ever so slightly in front of the Giant, causing the tower to target it first. If you're using a Giant Balloon strategy, you always want to use the Giant like 1 second or a half second before the Balloon, because you want to have the Giant in front of the Balloon, tanking all the tower damage. But in the end, the Giant does make it to the tower, getting a bunch of hits off and doing a good amount of damage for me, bringing his tower all the way down to 627 health. So if it wasn't for that mistake, I probably would have already had the 1 crown lead in this battle. So I'm going to go ahead and use the Ice Spirit to distract that Knight, give my Musketeer as well as the tower time to finish it off. Now, I was thinking about using the Valkyrie here to support that Musketeer and maybe set up a counter push, but in the end, I decided to save the elixir and wait a brief moment to start setting up a slow Giant push. So Giant going down here in the back, because I know my opponent has a bomb tower in his deck, so I'm going to need a stronger push to make it past that bomb tower to his tower. So Giant going up there, going to go ahead and use the cannon to distract the Royal Giant once he crosses the bridge. Then I'm going to go ahead and use the Musketeer to take out the Royal Giant fairly quickly. And the great thing with this Giant push here is the Giant can tank a couple hits from the Sparky. So I'm going to go ahead and use that Zaspel to reset the attack timer on the Sparky, because I need that Giant to survive a little bit longer, because I want the Valkyrie as well as the Musketeer to go in there to finish the Sparky off. So Musketeer taking out the Sparky, setting up another slow push with that Giant behind my King Tower. Musketeer going in there, finishing off his bomb tower. Now he makes a pretty big mistake there. Notice how he uses his Musketeer to counter mine. If you're facing somebody that's using a balloon strategy, you have to say you're a strong air defense for that balloon. So Valkyrie going up there, distracting the bomb tower. The Zaspel resetting the attack timer on the Sparky, with the Giant up front protecting my Musketeer from all these Sparky shots. And now watch this balloon go in there untouched, giving me the 1 crown victory. 1 hit, finishing his tower off. Let's go ahead and do a live tournament battle. So here we are, guys, facing off against a level 9. Give him the old thumbs up, good luck. Let's see what we have for a starting hand. Valkyrie, Musketeer combo. So if he pumps up, I'm not too sure what I'm going to do. Do I want to do a slow Valkyrie push or a slow Musketeer push? Let's go ahead and Ice Spirit this. With the Ice Spirit should... No, let's zap it as well. Prevent damage to my tower. There we go. No hits to my tower. Not too bad. And like I said, let's keep the Giant Balloon combo a secret for now. We know my opponent is using a Minion Horde deck, so maybe I can do a Giant Balloon push right here. Because his Minion Horde is out of rotation, and his and he spent 5 elixir on the elixir pump, so we should be pretty good to go. Now, ooh, he's got the minions as well. Can we fireball this, please? Fireball, please. No, the fireball's gonna be too late. It's gonna be too late, and the barbarians are out of there. Ay, ay, ay. Oh, guys, this is bad. Way too aggressive playing at the start there. Way too aggressive. Now, I don't know why I didn't use that Giant Balloon push on the same side as the Valkyrie, because the Valkyrie could have protected against the barbarians at least. Oh, yeah, yeah. Give him the crying face there. So we lost the tower because I made a huge mistake with that aggressive initial playstyle. Like I said in all those replays, play defensively or play slow play with the giant as a giant deck and keep that balloon card a secret. But for some reason I decided to play aggressively. Let's go ahead and start doing a slow push with this giant right here. Do that. He just wasted his barbarians there. He is using the Royal Giant though, so let's go ahead and use a muskie right here to defend that. And we want to have this fireball ready for minions. Let's zap this with Ice Spirit, have the fireball ready for minions. Where's the minions? There they are. Fireball that, please. There we go. One more hit, 2 more hits, 3 more hits. Cannon to distract, there we go. And a Musketeer here with a Valkyrie. There we go. So we've clawed our way back into this one, but he's doing some good damage there with that Royal G. Let's go ahead and do this for support with a... I'm waiting for him to use those minions. Ice Spirit right here, Zap Spell. Taking all that out. Musketeer with a Fireball to take this out. There we go. So we clawed our way back, guys. After that stupid mistake earlier on, we fought our way back into the battle. Let's go ahead and use a Valkyrie to counter that. There we go. Oh, look at that. Dropping barbs on top of a Valkyrie. Now, let's go ahead and freeze this guy. Let's use a giant right here. And with the balloon, give him the all good game. So, like I said, I made a couple mistakes, but we clawed our way back into the battle. Let's go ahead and do another live battle, just because that one wasn't really a good representation of a giant balloon strategy because of my couple mistakes that I made. So here we go, guys, facing off against this level 9. Of course, they're pretty much all level 9s in the tournament standards. Give them the all good luck. Let's see what we have here. We have a Fireball Balloon, Musketeer, and as well as Valkyrie. Do you want to do a slow push with the Valkyrie or a slow push with the Musketeer? I don't want to start out with the Balloon. Of course, the Fireball is useless to start. So, let's get them all well played. And let's start out with this Valkyrie right here. We'll do that. Now, he's probably going to counter on that same lane. Or he's going to give me a free elixir advantage. I don't understand why people wait to drop cards after the start of a battle, because that's just a free 4 elixir win for me. So let's go ahead and Ice Spirit here. And we'll see. Oh, the Sparky. Come on, come on, come on. Zap. There we go. So now we are in trouble on defense, because I just used my Zap spell. So, Cannon to defend. Please don't be using Royal Giant. Okay, so the Valkyrie. We're going to use the Giant to tank one shot right here, with the Valkyrie in the back for support. There we go. Now I could have used that Ice Spirit to support even further, but I need to save up some elixir. I don't want to spend too much. Just Fireball this though. Maybe get the Valkyrie to get a couple hits on that tower. Even 2 hits I'd be happy with. So that's 1 right there. And no, just 1. But better than nothing. So he has the Minion Horde, which is now out of rotation. But by the time I get the Giant back into my rotation, he's probably going to have the Minion Horde again. So I have to keep that in mind for my push. So I have to have the Fireball available for my pushes. Balloon right here, maybe? No, we're going to go ahead and use a Cannon just to defend. Maybe he's not using a tank. Maybe the Knight and the Witch are meant to be his tank with the Balloon. So, let's do a giant Balloon push, and then we'll have the Fireball available. I want to zap this though. Zap with a Fireball. It's pre-Fireball right here. Minion Horde, please come down. Yes! Oh, look at that! Look at that! That pre-Fireball taking out most of the Minion Horde, letting the Balloon get to the tower. Doing 2 hits there. Doing work for me. Let's go ahead and use a Cannon right here with a Giant to tank all of this. We're going to zap this again. There we go. That's going to save the Giant some health, giving my Musketeer time to go on there, and giving me time to pretty much save up the elixir to take out this Sparky with my Valkyrie. And there we go, guys. Doing work. Let's get this Fireball available here for all of this. Come on, Fireball. Boom. Taking out everything. So there we are, guys. Getting the 1 crown victory. Get him with a good game there. Anyways, guys, that's going to be the end of the video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to like and subscribe. It really does help me out. Anyways, guys, thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.